Aloha family. Today's episode is brought to you by Archon Mounts. They are the premier mounting solutions for all of your devices, whether you have a cell phone, cameras, DSLRs, action cameras, maybe you are an airline pilot. Well, go to archon.com. They have everything you would need to make sure that your device is secure and safe. Go to archon.com. There's a promo code Hawaii and you'll get 20% off your entire order. So for those of you that are aspiring pilots or you're a content creator on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, maybe you're one of those amazing viral sensations on TikTok, go to archon.com, get your hands on some sturdy, robust, reliable tripods from archon.com. They've been one of my greatest supporters since day one. So be sure to go to archon.com, get your hands on some really sturdy, reliable tripods and mounting solutions for all of your content creation needs. Archon.com, keeping your devices within reach. All right, family. Well, that's all I've got for, brand partnerships and promoting. But today we're going to talk a little bit about where is my money? Are you a content creator? Are you someone that is looking through the classified ads and you can't find a job and you open your Facebook, YouTube, maybe you like the new branding of X and you're like, man, how can I make money? Well, today there was a barrage of people that were posting us screenshots of their subscription approval status. And of course, whenever there is a whole bunch of people posting a bunch of pictures of money or things that they're getting approved for, there is a legitimate phenomenon of what we call FOMO. It's called the FOMO effect. So if you don't know what that is, it is literally the feeling of missing out. So family, where is my money? And are you feeling that you're being left out? We're going to talk a little bit about monetization, money, subscriptions, and not just on one platform, but we're going to touch bases on all of that. And how can you carve yourself a little corner in this huge money pie that all these social media companies are throwing out there? We'll be back in 41 seconds. You're watching or listening to Glow Sessions episode number 59. We'll be back in 41 seconds. And by the way, for anybody that's watching the live video, I'm not making fun of anybody. That was me crying. I was crying inside. I was crying very deep inside. For all of my Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners and YouTube podcasts, for those of you that are actually subscribed to my podcast channels, thank you. You may not have seen the video, but in the video, there's a baby crying, and there's a title above his head and it says, "Where is my money?" And so it's always a joy of mine to bring a big fat wooden spoon to the pot to stir the pot. My wife is laughing because he's like, "What are you talking about?" But I love stirring the pot, and I've been in trouble a lot of times in my life by saying things that I probably shouldn't say. But when you put up a funny picture like that, man, it's fun. And look, I'll say this, family, for those of you that are unemployed or you're doing side hustles to get money in your bank accounts. I think everybody's in that same boat, right? Some of us just have a bigger boat than others to fill up with a bunch of cash and money. I'm literally firing from the hip, by the way. If anybody's wondering, this is not natural. I'm just firing from the hip. And then when I go back and listen, like, did I just say bigger boats? And anyway, so if that's you and you're looking at social media and like, can I actually make money doing this? The question is, number one, are you willing to do that? I think that's probably the first comment to that. Someone on X on Twitter had mentioned, what would you say, or what would your advice be? And I don't know who the original poster of that question was. I can't remember his name, but there's a content creator called Mandy Simard. I think she's in Canada. She posts amazing photos and videos of just nature and bees and bugs, and like I think she's got like I think she's got a zoom lens that you can shoot the moon with it. Like it's crazy how close she gets in on these bees. Like you can literally see the pollen under her legs. But anyways, she said that, what would you say to someone first coming onto X? And we can say this on any platform. And of course, everybody has their comments, which I didn't read them, to be honest with you. But I did type in, I said, what did I say? I said, don't let, I can't even remember what I said. I'm very ill prepared. I said, don't let X ruin your organic life. And that applies to any social media platform. And so the reason why I'm saying that is because we're talking about, where is my money? That's the title for today. Where is my money? And by the way, I did invite some of my old school people who are on my Discord server. I don't know if they're listening or watching, but they're actually live in a conversation right now. And then I invited some of our leadership from our live stream community on X. And the discussion, really, what I want to talk about today is, when people are posting up screenshots of their payouts and their money. Well, here's the first question: is that weird? Is that is it peculiar? Is that the word? Is it weird? And I think it is, but I understand if someone's very excited to share that, by all means, go ahead and share it out. Um, but it is weird. It's kind of like you get hired by, let's say you get hired by Twitter or you get hired by Facebook, and then you on your first paycheck, you take a screenshot of your paycheck and you throw it up on social media and say, "Hey guys, it works. I just got a job and it actually works. Look, check it out." And it's just weird. We don't do that, right? But for some reason with social media, we like to post up our payouts, or um but and I'm not being negative. I'm just saying it's weird, because now if you have a course or you are a coach that you want to help people, then that's different, right? That's, I think, probably appropriate to some degree, and it just depends, right? It's not everybody's the same. And so today was another big day for people that are on Twitter, on X, where there was it felt like a tsunami of people that were approved for subscription status. And we've got, in today's episode, in today's broadcast, in today's podcast, we're going to have an audience that's very broad. It's not just one platform, right? So we've got people actually live on YouTube. I see you, thank you, and also on Twitch, Kick and Rumble. So the monetization models are obviously different. But one thing I will say is that the the desire to be monetized, I think, is similar on all platforms. And I think on other platforms, for example, like on TikTok, or on let's pick on TikTok and Instagram. Let's pick on TikTok and Instagram. Those are highly visual, right? There's really not a lot of text based um virality. That's that's even the word. There's not a lot of text based virality on Instagram or TikTok. They're highly visual, right? So if you are a lady, you post up things that maybe get attention for beauty. If you're a guy, you flex your big muscles, and then you put up a Socrates quote, right? So, and that's a joke, by the way, right? A lot of people become very philosophical, or maybe they post some viral content, or maybe they post up things that are just crazy and extreme. Next thing you know, they go viral. Basic. Um, a great example is Haley Welch. If you don't know who she is, I'm not gonna say or give any power to how she got famous. But Haley Welch, if you know who she is, she obviously got, um, man, she got catapulted to the top of social media within a week, couple weeks. I would say couple weeks. Um, she's getting sponsorship deals. People are dropping money at her doorstep. She got her own podcast. I think she's donated hundreds of thousands of dollars through all the money that she's been getting. So proof positive that there is a desire, right, to get monetized on all platforms. And so when it comes to certain platforms, there's a highly visual aspect to it. And let's go pick on X for a second. For those of you that, to my family that's not on X or the Twitter as we know it, we can say Twitter that identifies as X or however you want to label it. Our perception of X or Twitter was that it was highly political, just typing a bunch of words and then getting into arguments all day long politically, right? That's the heavy perception. There's a whole new wave of people that have used the app now since Elon bought it. And whether people say they lean to the right or to the left or predominantly right now, I don't get into that. But I see that Twitter X, I keep saying Twitter, it's hard to say X because you can't verb X. It's hard to verb X. But anyways, from what Linda Yaccarino was talking about was that we're going to make X. This is what she said. We're going to make X of, I don't know. She said X is a video first platform. And so that was a year ago. Now, whether that's true or not, we're not sure. We're not sure if that's going to be a reality because they are up against obviously the big, I'll say the big four, right? So big four meaning Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok. I will put them in the top four. So I don't think Twitter or X has even, I don't think they broke into the top 10 yet. And we're not talking about quality of content. We're talking about user minutes in the billions, right? So the top four have user minutes or user content by the billions and billions and billions of dollars. So billions and billions and billions. Yeah. So anyways, my brain farted for a second. Let me put that brain fart back in monetization. Okay. So with Twitter, if they break the top 10, and are they going to be able to not just make a mark, but are they going to grab those people? Because I would even put Twitch up there, maybe not in the top 5, but I would put Twitch. Twitch, I think, is in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of volume and the one thing we didn't talk about is retention rates, right? So you guys know me, I always preach about that. Here's my tea. Thank you, Zoe. Is it hot? It is. My daughter is amazing, by the way. If anybody hasn't met her, you can follow me on X. I've posted. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what? I was picking on my daughter earlier, but really, I was picking on my daughter through my wife. Wait, picking on my wife through my daughter. That's what I was doing. So, what kind of tea is this? Green tea and brown rice. What is this good for? Sinuses, cold flu, and overall vitality. Tea good for overall vitality. It's piping hot. Wow. Okay, so where were we before my daughter brought in my hot tea? We were talking about breaking the top 10 video. Is Twitter gonna make it? Right now, Twitter is attempting to be the master or the jack of all trades. I don't know if they've mastered any. I think they've mastered the art of conversation. There are people on Twitter that will stay on there all day long and just talk or argue with other people. That's like a modern day Matrix. I think Twitter is like the Matrix. Yeah. Twitter X is literally like a modern day Matrix. I think some people are claiming that they're not. I think they're claiming they're multitasking. We got to get you a mic. Do you guys want my wife to get a mic? That way the noise cancellation doesn't go crazy because I have a noise cancel. But there are people that claim they're multitask, which I'm not saying they're not. I don't know. If you're multitasking, somebody's getting the short end of the stick. Your kids are not eating dinner, or your underwear and your clothes not getting washed or folded, or something. So either you're, I don't know. The only person that can legitimately say he's a great multitasker is Elon Musk. Brother man's going to hit 300 billion in net worth probably in the next couple of months, and billions and probably trillions. I think by the time he turns, I think when he hits his 60s, I think he'll be a trillionaire. I think, if nothing happens, we have this weird, we have this weird. I would say all society, all cultures, all nations, but we have this weird ability to forget history. You know what I mean? We tend to forget that. Hey, wait a minute. There's history. There's historical events. Let me give you an example. Um, Rome, Greece, Mayans, Incans, um, Mongolians. Um, can we throw? No, just that there were great civilizations at one time, and like they're not there anymore. So, anyways, going back to net worth and we're talking about multitasking. Here I am multitasking my brain. Um, what was I saying? We're trying to talk about money. Like, where is my money? That's what we're trying to talk about. Um, what are we trying? If you are trying to make money on X, we're gonna pick on X because they're the reason why they're the reasons why, or the reason, the reasons or reason they are the reason. They're the reason why I'm doing this today. Um, because it sparked it wasn't a heavy emotion. I wasn't literally FOMOing out, because I've had this discussion before where, um, if you're not getting monetized by social media, I want to encourage everybody that it's okay, because I promise you this though, when I finally get, um, and by the way, I'm officially monetized on Rumble. I made a penny. I made 1 cent. I made a penny. I made 1 penny on Rumble. Hey, that's 1 penny more than I made the day before that I didn't make the penny. So, um, but so on, where else am I monetized? I think that's it. So what I do is, for those that don't know, I monetize myself, and it sounds funny, right? I monetize myself. Anybody that's an entrepreneur or a business owner, you monetize yourself. Like, you don't wait for someone to grant you the almighty graces of having pennies on the dollar, based upon what people throw at the company. And for example, there was a great app called Periscope back in the day, and we're not like reminiscing of the good old days, because it really wasn't in some respects. Uh, so for example, for people that would get tipped on Periscope, there was no clear transparency on the payouts. Okay, there was some, and they actually did publish it, but you would really have to look for it. And I believe it was like 30 cents minimum taken out per dollar. So basically, you're getting 70 cents per dollar. So if somebody, let's say you go live and you do a video content, or a live stream, and you're doing it for 2 hours. So there was a point where I was getting about 140, $150 a month live streaming on Periscope, and that was for a brief period. Okay, and that was nice, but I never did analyze the hours put in uh, to get that. And I'll promise you this: it probably wasn't worth it on the hour, like per hour, that hourly pay. Okay, so for anybody that's done Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, right? Sometimes when you do your payouts, you're like, wait a minute, I think I was out of the house for 17 hours today, and I got $9 an hour. Wait a minute, they got you, right? So I think I got them. So I feel like sometimes with social media, I feel like it's a trap. for some people because they get sucked into that, right? And that FOMO effect when everybody's throwing these screenshots and these pictures of all this money that you can make, and look at the money I made just by doing what I normally do anyway. I want to say that again. Check out all this money that I've made just by doing what I normally do anyway. Am I the only one that thinks that sounds a little bit crazy? I'm getting paid money for doing something that I do already anyway. So I was to analyze that. I think there are people that are not honest about the time that they're putting in. I don't think so. So, and I'm not trying to say in a judgmental way, but I also want to be honest. If someone's going to throw receipts, show us the clock in and clock out times too. Unless you don't have a lot of commitments or responsibilities in your organic life, and maybe your online connections is your life, that's completely radically different. But be honest about that too, because there are people like us that have kids, have wives, and families, um, have jobs. Maybe they have businesses that they run, and when they look at receipts being thrown out there, it's like, where's my money? I want some of my money too. Can I have some? Right? And there are some amazing receipts being thrown out there. Um, there's a lot of excitement. But if I could encourage anybody, if you look at it from a business perspective, if the money is real, which it is it sustainable at the momentum that it's being pushed upon us? I don't even know if what I said makes sense, but I just know that if it is real, which the money obviously is real, if the money's real, what is the time invested? Is it worth my time? Is there anything that's going to be at the expense of achieving that status of getting, whether it's ad revenue sharing, whether it's getting a subscription status? It could be on X, it could be on Twitch. Now, Twitch, I'll say this to my Twitch family: you guys are. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed some comments on it. What's up, Alex? Where is the money? And Tala. I'm so sorry, my people on X. I've been missing your guys' comments, bro. I was getting into a tangent on talking to myself. I'm guilty of being too blunt. Dawn says I have nothing special to offer enough to think I can. Okay. Dawn, we gotta get you a mic because you're cutting out my noise canceling. My wife is trying to butt in, but she has no mic. Honey, get a mic. The mic's right there. I have noise cancellation, so every time it does, it's like a record. It's like, I'm being honest. Um, and he is in full. I missed some comments. I'm so sorry. Hey, Tolly, good to see you. And by the way, family, to my Spotify, Apple Podcasts, if you want to catch the comments, you got to watch me live. I'm not saying I don't value my audio people, but I do appreciate you. What were we talking about before I got sidetracked by comments? So if the money is real, which it is it worth the time investment? Is it worth all the hours that we put into it? And so we're chasing this, whether it's Twitch, Kick. I don't know about Kick. I'm live on Kick right now. Um, there's a lot of money in Kick. The owner and founder of Kick made his millions or billions and billions in crypto. So if you don't believe me, look it up. Sustainable. Thank you, Tal. Tal is my. So is it sustainable? And here's my advice to anybody that is seeking that big money pie in the sky that Elon or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, that they're throwing this money at you to get you excited. Build your own brand, build your own business, build your own products or services. In most cases, you can do it. Not, I don't want to say for free because nothing is for free, but at an extremely low cost. And until that day comes when you get awarded by the almighty, monetization authorities, when they when they decide to award you with monetization in whatever form or factor or platform that you're on, at least you've got what you've got. Um, a little self promotion here. I get product sponsors. One of my sponsors is One Shot Energy. Dubby, energy drinks, also Archon mounts. Um, who else? I'm trying to think now. I could probably just look it up somewhere. Um, and a couple of other partners that I work with. Um, so and then t-shirts, we have t-shirts and we have online digital products. So I would say monetize yourself in the meantime. Like just do it. Like it's there. And right now I'm using StreamYard. And I love Stream. I've been using it since 2019. Yeah. So five, six, almost 6 years now. So Alex Utopia, um, I'm gonna read his comment to all of us for my Spotify listeners and my Apple podcast. He says exactly. I'd say chasing the ad share is probably not worth it. It's a bonus. Got to build some product or service yourself. Yeah, and Alex Utopia he's a great speaker, by the way. For those of you that don't know who he is, he's an amazing speaker in spaces. So is Tala. She said not much younger. Totally agreed. Agreed. Um, Here's what I'll say about ad revenue sharing. So we're gonna talk about X, okay? So, and I don't work for X. I have a partner that throughout the years, a few people that we know that have worked for Twitter. Um, and in fact, one of them worked actually in ads, in advertising. And here's what I'll say: when there's a lot of money being thrown up front right away, I don't think that's sustainable. Number one, and I'm not just picking on X, or I'm just saying just in general. A lot of times, if you see somebody throwing a lot of money up front, it's to entice people, to get people excited, right? And that's totally fine. I would do that. But when you see people posting up receipts of $6,000 or 5,000, $1,000 payouts, of course you're gonna FOMO. You're gonna like literally FOMO on yourself. You can be like, oh my god, I missed out on something. Um, or feel like it. Not engaging farm. Yeah. Did I miss another comment by Doctor K Diane, or not Diane Diane? Dawn. Dawn's been an amazing follower of ours, and she follows us all over. She's been with us on Facebook. She's an interior designer, an amazing one, by the way. Like she's really good. Um, Amazing work. So, but when people are posting those huge receipts, I think ad revenue sharing is great for people that have massive momentum already and they get plugged in and X rewards them. The other alternative to that, for those that are not familiar with how social media companies work, they also have programs, what we call independent contractor programs. And all that means is it's a fancy word for I will pay you X amount of dollars to do some work for us. You're not going to be hired by the company, but we're going to pay you like as if you were, right? They have another one where it's not affiliate, not partnerships, sponsorship programs will pay X amount of dollars, like a commission, to do something. Um, Here's what I'll say to that, and I won't drop names, but there are people on, let's pick on Twitter, for example. There are some amazing content creators that were paid to promote features and services on X. Um, I'm not going to say exuberant amount of dollars, but they were paid a nice commission. And so by them getting paid commission on those services, they would heavily promote. Now, my only issue with that is that there was no transparency on the enthusiasm level. Okay. So if you watch a YouTube video, for example, when someone says, let's pick on this. I love drinking water from my Hydro Flask water bottle. And by the way, this episode is brought to you by or sponsored by Hydro Flask. So a lot of YouTube videos, when they do reviews or they for the most part, they're pretty clear on, hey, this is brought to you by. Well, there's a time on Twitter X, Periscope, the live portion, where there are a lot of enthusiastic creators, but they weren't entirely telling you the truth on what was happening on the back end, the financial portion. And so that's where I would have issue. And it does beg the question when it comes to um, payouts, when it comes to ad revenue sharing on any platform. Um, I'm not speaking from experience 'cause I don't get any ad revenue sharing at all. I don't have enough impressions. So you have, it used to be, so on X on Twitter, you would have to have 15 million impressions in a 3-month period. That was prior to the revamp. And now the revamp, the threshold is a lot lower. It's at 5 million. So not everybody can hit that unless they're totally engagement farming on some capacity. So some more of my daughter's tea. Here's what I'll add to, we're talking about the money, finances, and I'm bouncing around, and we're going to talk about other things in a second. But when it comes to the ad revenue sharing, the money, here's the trap. This is what I want to talk about. Here's the trap. There are, I think the last number, let's just do the lowest number possible. And we'll talk about the United States only. In the United States right now, there are, this is super low. I know it's a lot higher, but 7 million job openings right now. There are 7 million job openings. And we're not just talking about the report I read is not it's not just what was I going to say? It's not just like McDonald's. It's actual blue collar trades, those kind of things. But then there's a lot of people that are not working for whatever reason. Maybe it's not their skill set, not their skill level. Maybe they don't want to be a plumber or an electrician or dump truck driver, whatever. And then there's a lot of people that we see that are on social media chasing that next big payout, or maybe someone will buy this or that. Maybe they'll buy a coaching course from me. So, but what I will say, family, is that if you're chasing that and you're hoping that Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, whoever it is, gives you a huge payout, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Build something that you've got that can offer something of value. One of the things I'm enjoying right now is podcasting. I love, and I'm actually podcasting right now. I'm recording it. I'm going to put it up, So Alex Utopia said, I'm still waiting for subs. So am I. I ain't going to lie. And I think I set my price too low. When I seen Journeyman at his $15, he shot a FOMO nugget into my heart. So, family, for those that are listening and you're like, what are you talking about subs? So on Twitter, on X, they're approving another wave of subscriptions for creators. Here's the problem with subscriptions, and this is just a thought. If everybody gets approved for subscriptions and we're all in the same circle of social media, who's going to get payout, or who's going to get paid and from who and for what? If everybody keeps jumping in the same swimming pool and everybody gets approved for subscriptions, where's the money going to come from? It's an honest question. If you're, we're going to pick on Twitter now. So if everybody is always in the same spaces every single day, 5 days a week, maybe, and it's the same people, and everybody's got subs approved, and here comes the unsuspecting brand new person to X, and everybody's like, look at me, subscribe to me, I have good content just for you, right? and the poor guy's like, who do I subscribe to? How do I subscribe to Greg, to Tala, to Alex, Ani? Man, they're all great people. So that's the comment I made the other day about, if you have a footprint make sure you don't chop off the other toes. Today's episode is brought to you by One Shot Energy Voice Drops. They are a low sugar, prebiotic yuzu, honey sweetened lozenge that soothes and protects your throat with an infusion of slippery elm, marshmallow, and licorice root. If you are a singer, a vocalist, of public speaking, or maybe you do spaces on X or Twitter, maybe you just like to talk, well, go to oneshotenergy.com, get your hands on some voice drops. Use my promo code AMBGLO. That's AMBGLO, oneshotenergy.com. I used to sub to 4, by the way, Alex. And then I stopped because it just didn't make sense because I wasn't getting any value for the sub content. And so, you know what I mean? Well, so here's the question. So there's some great comments. So Alex says you got to promise value or something and deliver, which is true. Alex in Utah, let's talk about footprint. Check this out, family. If you have, let's pretend we have a foot. My daughter's tea is really good, and it's actually helping me in my sinus. I have chronic sinuses. If you have a footprint, okay, and you're only using one toe, which toe am I going to use? One toe. What happens when you're ready to run? So now, what I will say, I'm not saying that you got your little pinky toe. That doesn't mean that you're going to put all your energy into your pinky toe. You're going to put your energy into maybe your foundational toes, the ones that are getting you the most traction, right? Paula Smith on Twitter on X says that this is why I monetized my Substack. It took 10 minutes to set up, not 10 months. I think it's longer than 10 months. And here's the kicker. Check this out. And found there's this saying about seniority, right? So when you get a job, they have this magical word called seniority. In some jobs, in some professions, seniority does have a role, but in social media, it doesn't, right? So someone can be on a platform for 10 years, and then here comes amazing content creator A, signs up within 3 months, they get monetized. They get monetized within 4 months, and here's poor Greg. He's been on a platform for 9 years. So maybe that person had a big toe, and they just put all the energy in that one big toe, and they get the momentum, and they build on the platform, and then maybe now they can branch out. So, well, hello, Christabel is live on our X. And let me just take a minute to acknowledge, thank you to those of you that are on my Glow Sessions account. Thank you. And Twitch, thank you. And to my Discord family, I sent you a camera invite. I'm going to call you out to my Discord family. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know what Discord is I don't even know how you describe it. Discord is great for business. It's great for social aspect as well. It's like Zoom, Slack, Twitter-ish, X, whatever you want to call it, and Twitch. Like they all had a baby. Okay, that doesn't make sense, but it's like a mixture of that. So what was I talking about now? I got a brain fart. Help me out, somebody. What were you talking about? And by the way, for those of you that are live with me, I know that your audio is not coming through, obviously, because we're on a live stream. But this will be, by the end of the night, this is going to be live on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all podcast outlets. So you're going to be able to listen to it in audio only. Yes. Okay. So this is a great description. So Christabel said that She needs a new Discord community. It can be fun. It's like instant messenger or AIM for my younger generation. AIM is for us old folk that had instant messenger capabilities. I even lost. Yeah, if I can lose tall, I'm great. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. My noise cancellation is. I got to go back and adjust my settings, but my noise cancellation on my mic is set up for projection modes because I was doing ads yesterday, day before. It's not meant for what I'm doing today, but that's okay. I can't fix it. Not now. Oh, I can. No, I don't want to. What were we talking about? Discord. So my Discord family, I sent you guys a camera invite, and I'm gonna call him out, Joey. Um, can't remember the names now. Noah. And by the way, Noah is one of my brand partnerships. So he's the owner of Noah's Beard Oils. And anyways, so going back to monetization. Let's not get too sidetracked. Noah's Beard Oils, by the way. So if you may have watched my introduction. I don't get any money from. I just he's included in my brand partnerships. So not yet. But I don't think I put it in writing. But Noah, when you hit your billions and billions and billions, I'm getting at 1%. I'm getting at 1%. All right, we did a wallpaper. You know what's fun? Okay, so going back to we'll come back to where is my money. But since we're talking about old school, if you guys remember, there was I'm gonna call them the Periscope of instant messaging, and it was ICQ. If you guys remember ICQ, they were legit. ICQ was kind of like instant messenger, but fun, and you could transfer files, um, which really didn't mean much back in 1995, 1996, because it would take you forever to transfer files. MIRC. What is MI? I don't remember that. So ICQ had the flower. You guys remember the flower? So whenever you were connecting, the flower would like it was like an hourglass, but it was a flower. Yeah. And if since we're talking about old school, for anybody that had LimeWire, you guys remember LimeWire? LimeWire was cancer for your computer. Not even cancer. LimeWire was like AIDS for your. It was so bad. It was really bad. But you could watch practically. It was what was it called back then? Um, it was file sharing, but there was a name for it. Oh, check this out. So Alex in Utopia said he once had a girlfriend he met on AIM. Yeah. So here's a cool thing. A very good friend of mine, still married to this day, met his wife on Instant Messenger. Yeah. He William Hippa. Yeah, and they had how many more kids? One, two, four. Yeah, and he already had two kids, right? Here's a cool story. I don't want to just make it like an online chat story, but my friend William met his wife today on Instant Messenger. But before that, he had two boys. He had a kind of a messy separation, divorce. But he said, "God, I'm gonna raise my boys first, and I'm gonna." It sounds like I'm glamorizing it, but this is legit. Like he said, God, I'm just gonna serve you. I want to raise my boys. I want to be there for my boys. And you know what's funny? When his boys graduated, he found a girl, got married, had four more kids on top of that. It's crazy, crazy story. Yeah. free CDs from PC Magazine. Oh, that's so funny. We're having a history lesson, guys. This is so Alex in Utopia. I remember this. He said that he used to get the free CDs from PC Magazine. I remember. No, but they tricked you, Alex. They tricked you that they were just they were like samples, right? They didn't give you the full thing. Like you had to sign up and get the rest of it. Yeah. Am I? I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Hold on. Let's hold your horses. I'm gonna do. Let's do a. I'm gonna screen share. Um, I'm gonna do a Google. Let's do the Google. Okay. Um, I can't do it. How come I can't do it? Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. So for my family that is on Spotify, you can't see it. Actually, Spotify, you can see it. I may upload the video podcast, but we're gonna look it up. If you have in bulletin board systems, Tala, that's some old school right there. Okay. Let's put up where is it? Where is the let's see if Christabel's tripping. MIRC. What was that? What is that? Internet relay chat. What? That okay, wait. So is this what we're talking about here? Interesting. Wow. Talisman saying uninstalling AOL ripped the virtual guts out of your operating system. Interesting. I don't know, Tala. Okay, so we found it. Let's pull it up. I do remember something like this, but I wasn't smart enough to do it. The MIRC. Okay, check this out. You guys are not going to believe me because I can't verify it because I'm having a hard time finding it. But in 19, what year was it? I'm going to just say 1980. I'm going to say 1987 or 1988. Check this out. Let me take the screen share off for a second. Um, I had a friend. I had a friend that I would go to his house. He was rich. They were rich, and I used to go to private school when I was in South Carolina. Um, anyways, he had this phone. I wish I don't really have phones today, but he would hook up this phone to this receiver, okay, and it made that noise, right? Right, it made that sound, and then we would play a game. I can't even remember the name of the game, but he told me, "Oh yeah, I'm playing uh with some people." He's like, he couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what he said, but we were playing online. This is like an 80. This is before 1990 because I wasn't. It was crazy. I can't remember the name of the game. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And I didn't understand it. I thought he was like some government agent, or because back then when you watch movies, that's how they connect to whatever they called it, the World Wide Web, or something else. The world, I don't know what it was called back then. Well, but it was something else. It was like that internet, not internet. So okay, let's get this screen share up. Anything else you guys want me to look up and see if anybody's crazy? We have deciphered and figured out that Christabel is not crazy. Um, just for fun, let's do this. For anybody that doesn't know, what was I saying, family? Oh, what was it called? ICQ. ICQ. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That was the one right there. ICQ. So that little flower, the red loading, it would go around in a circle until you were logged in. Right? We gotta focus. We gotta get back to the money. Um, let's get out. Before we get to the money, can I play an ad? I want to. Let me do this. Do I have my ad set up? Oh, I deleted it. I. I don't have it. You know what? Um, that's okay. We'll push through. BBS. BBS. Are you talking about BlackBerry? No, no. BBS is something different. I was a firm believer of BlackBerry. I had a BlackBerry. I had two. I had two Blackberries. Blackberries are awesome. I think where BlackBerry failed.
Isn't it Blackberries where you could like have that speaker?
No, that was Nextel. Um, BBS is a bulletin board system. Oh, okay. So the where BlackBerry failed, in my opinion, was that they did not partner up with Android soon enough. Because there was a time where they partnered up with them at some point. Look it up. Look it up. Okay, BBS. Okay, just okay, fam. We're gonna look up. And by the way, again, for my Spotify and Apple podcast listeners, if you want to get into the loop of what we're talking about, you can look at it visually on my replays on all socials. BBS. Okay, that's rims. Social. Social. No, that's not it. Social media. Okay, I need more search criteria. BBS. Bulletin board system. Bulletin. Bulletin. Ah, there it is. Let's do images because it's a visual. Oh, is this what it is? Interesting. Is this what it is? Interesting. Oh, check this out. This is the computer I used to have right here. Oh, let's full screen it. So I used to have an Apple IIe, and then we also had the Apple IIc. So if anybody knows anything about Apple, the Apple IIc was like the precursor to a laptop. Yeah. ICQ. Hold on. I know so Tala saying, ICQ is meant to sound like words, right? ICQ. Oh, I seek you. That's right. That's right. I seek you. That's right. That's true. Right? That's right. I totally forgot about that. Um, it was a psyop and for a moderate back. Wait, what? You run a server on your computer. Okay, this is Alex in Utopia. He said you run a server on your computer and other people could call you over a modem. Ah, some people had like 4 phone lines, so 4 people could go online, chat, forum. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. But yeah, so I used to have an Apple IIe, and then we had an Apple IIc. And back then, if you had that, you were rich. Like maybe not rich, you were like upper middle class rich. Because the Apple IIc, let's look it up. Let's check. We're gonna have some fun today. Check this out. So if you had a, let's do Apple IIc. Apple IIc price back in the day, back in the 80s. Yeah, see, that's right. So you see this right here. So the Apple IIc, I was going to say 1,400. The Apple IIc was $1,200. So for those of you that have met my dad, I did a podcast with him. Actually, I did several podcasts with him, but back then we didn't have the fancy equipment. But we talked about getting an Apple IIc, and back then it was $1,400. Yeah, I don't know why it says 1,200, but I remember he was saying 1,400. Can you imagine that back then? Like one picture on my phone. So I have. It's funny we're talking about today about Verizon's outage, right? Let's put this small. So check this out. Tala Smith says that my first setup for BBSing was a Commodore Plus. Commodore was the gaming computer. Commodore wasn't a serious computer. It wasn't for serious computing people. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah. Although the Commodore was the more fun computer, but people that had the Apple IIe, you had to learn like, and I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not joking. If anybody remembers your computer history, the Commodore 64 wasn't. You had to have an Apple. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, but what was I talking about? I totally forgot. So the Apple IIc was $1,200, $1,400, and you put your floppy disk in it. But it was a precursor to the laptops, and the reason why I say that, you could take the Apple IIc, you could fold the legs in, and you had this carry pouch, and the monitor, it had this curved like a U shape thingy, and the monitor would sit on top of it. And it was a monochrome, it was a green monitor. And the monitor, you could put it in the bag and take it with you. It was the portable computer. It was heavy. It was like 20, 30 pounds. Yeah. Alex in Alex Utopia says the biggest board in my city had 20 phone lines. Wow, that's a lot. Like a tiny regional internet. People always met in real life parties. It was really better, honestly. Better, honestly. Sorry, my noise cancellation. Apple wasn't serious for running a BBS actually. HP. Is Tala googling where we're talking? What the heck, Tala? I can't put Christabel's comment because it's streamer. But anyways, okay, can we get back to the money and then we'll land the plane? Um, let's stop screen share. Okay, you know what? Just because Tala put the comment, I want to do this again. Share screen, and then we'll talk about the money. We'll close it out. What's this? Which computer? Can't even spell. Was better, Apple IIe or Commodore 64? I am corrected. Tala is right. You know what? I will yield to the senior on deck. Here we go. I will yield to the senior on deck. All from memory. I was there. Tala was there. I agree. Let's put it up on full screen. So generally, the Commodore 64 is considered to be the better computer compared to the Apple IIe, particularly for gaming. So I was right about the gaming part, due to its superior graphics, sound, and wider range of game compatibility. Although the Apple IIe had a reputation for being more user friendly and having a better educational software options. So, yeah, here we go. Maybe because I was in education, I don't know, or not me, but my parents bought it because my dad. Let's do a story real quick. So, you guys, I'm gonna give you guys a 5 minute version. So, my mom, and dad were in the corporate world in Hawaii back in the '80s. Um, they get saved. They meet Jesus, accept him as Lord and Savior. Our whole family, we all get saved. We serve Jesus, serve the Lord, and God calls them to 5,000 miles away from Hawaii to go to Bible college. Well, my dad's resume. Okay, this is a funny one. Check this out. My dad's resume was too good for anybody to hire him. Nobody wanted to hire my dad because his resume was too good for that job market. My dad just needed to get a job and work and provide for our family because they were going to college full time, right? Remember, God gave them a vision to go to college, and so they gave everything up. And I joke about it. I always say we were poor growing up, but the truth is we were blessed, and they had some money when we left Hawaii at that time. They had money. Um, so, anyways, my dad had to get a job, and so the only job he could find was at a supermarket. They're the only ones willing to hire him. Actually, they didn't want to hire him. So my dad said, "You know what? Just give me anything. I'll clean the toilet. I just need to make some money." Guess what job they gave him? They gave him the job as a toilet. He cleaned toilets, and then he obviously moved to a different position. So, anyways, the long story is that while they were going to college and putting us through private school, my dad bought the Apple IIe, Apple IIc computers because he would type out what was it? He would type out people's schoolwork for them. I forget what it was.
No, they did
It's not lesson plans. What's the other one? Study guides.
study guide.
So my dad and mom would type. I think more so my dad. They would type out study guides for students, their fellow students, and they would charge them for it. So my dad was hustling. Even my dad's not a shark in terms of business, but he comes from the corporate environment, so he understands. So while my dad is working cleaning toilets and going to college full time and paying for the kids, private, they put us to private school. He's also typing out study guides using the Apple. That's how I know about the Apple computer because they bought those computers to type out study guides and they would sell them to the fellow students at school. So if you wonder where my desire for hustling, and if anybody that's on my social media profiles, when you tap on my website, the first thing you'll see is I have a bunch of things that you can buy. So maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know. So and yeah, my wife is. She said my dad's a businessman. No matter what way you look at it. My brother's first computer was a Timex. What? With a membrane keyboard. I don't know if I've ever heard of a Timex computer. Interesting. Okay, so now that we're done with that, getting back to the money, and we'll close it out. And comments can keep coming. And by the way, to my Discord family, I'm gonna keep sending you guys invites because I see you guys lurking in the shadows. With the barrage or the tidal wave of subscription approvals that came out on Twitter on X today, there's a few people that were saying, in case you were wondering why if I got approved or not, I think it's Alex Hot Takes. I responded to him, and he said something like, I didn't get approved. I'm sad. He says, to be honest, I'm kind of disappointed. I've been on this platform. X. He's actually been on a platform longer than me. Um, Everybody's saying hi, M. I told you should have grabbed the mic. My wife doesn't want to move the mic. So I'm gonna look him up. As a matter of fact, let me look it up on my put up on screen. I'm gonna promote. Can I promote some people real quick? Since we're on X, I'm gonna promote you guys real quick. Um, wow, there's 3 people live today. There's Ani, Justin, and myself. Interesting. So let's. I'm gonna take a minute to promote some people real quick. Since I got you, let's do Tala. Since she's on here. Give me a second. And then I'm going to talk about Alex Utopia, not Alex Utopia. Shoot, hot takes. There's a guy named Hot Takes. Tala. So here we go. For anybody that's listening, excuse me, I'm promoting people that are in my live stream. So if it sounds weird, it is weird. So here's Tala. First Light Warrior. First Light Warrior. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. She's actually engaged in the conversation as well. So if you don't know who she is, she's a motivational speaker, live stream broadcaster, catastrophic illness and injury life quality advocate, physically challenged hiker, freestyle speed bagger. She's got a Substack. If you want to support her, go to substack.com/@television. That's her Substack. She is also a moderator in our live stream community here. So for anybody that wants to live stream what I'm doing right now, go into our community and we'll support you 100%. We may not like you, but we'll support you. I'm just kidding. We'll like you no matter what. Hot takes is Juan. Okay. I gotta find him. So, okay, let's do one more while my brain is. Okay, let's go to we'll do ladies first, and then we'll do Alex Utopia. So let me just read. Christabel is Complex and curious. She's a Spaces host for Rugged Radio, frequency reader, AI digital artist, curious about tech, lore, conservation, collective consciousness X. Conscious X. Huh? Conscious X. If you want to support her, buymeacoffee.com/Crystal. I'm going to spell it CRISTALEBEX. Crystal X. Okay, Crystal. Ah, clever. Like it. This is her pinned image, which is a elephant blowing bubbles. I've never seen an elephant blow bubbles, and so there you go. There's the elephant blowing bubbles. Okay, let's go to now. This guy, if you're not following this guy, check it out. This is not AI. This is real. Alex, that's a real image, but it's not AI. So he is in media and I love it. Look at that. Simple media and technology. Utopia.university. He has a community called AI Artwork. And I'm gonna read his top post. I'm not gonna that's a scary image. I'm not gonna click on it. It's scary. When all is said and done, people will look back on this time the way we look back on our primitive ancestors in medieval times. It's a good perspective to have to keep things in check. Most of the opinions you hold dear will now be laughed at by future children in school. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I think I can find it. Rio Linda. Let's see if it pops up. I'm gonna play a video and then we'll talk about. Oh, that's my auntie Linda. This one? No, that's not it. I'm trying to find a short version of Linda Yak. Oh, I gotta be careful what I show. Linda Yacarino. Hold on. And then we'll close it out with talking about Linda Yacarino. You know what? That's okay. When I find it, I'll share it out. Pick the worst time to look. Did clean up one of them. You picked the worst time to look. Yeah. Let's see. Thanks for. Of course, man. Automatic. And by the way, this is not only on X. To all of my X family, this is on. We are live on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. So it's not just. And of course, it's going to be on my Spotify, Apple Podcast. My Spotify will be a live podcast video so they can see what we're talking about on Apple Podcasts. Sorry, Apple. Apple doesn't allow video for some reason. So not quite sure why. So anyways, Linda Yacarino, let's take my video off. Let's close this out. Linda Yacarino talks about X being video first platform. I don't believe that just yet because they haven't made the investments to get the servers back. So if anybody knows the history of the fire, so when Elon bought the company, right? You guys know he fired 80% of the company. He talks about it very candidly. One of the things Elon talks about that he regrets in that firing of the 80% of the company, he regrets unplugging and shutting down the servers that they had in San Diego. You guys can fact check me. They not only did fire people, but the servers he literally went there to unplug stuff. And he says that's one of his regrets. And the reason why I say that's a regret is because for anybody that's on Twitter, on X, you notice that there's some things that don't seem to get fixed. I don't think it's that they don't have the desire to fix it. I don't think they have the capacity for some of the data packets or data that's coming through. That's why they're, when they first came in, they were so invested in a lot of things. But when it came to video, for some reason, it didn't seem. So to host video, a lot of us have been doing live stream video since I've been doing it since 2010 here on this platform since 2015. We've seen the changes come and go. So we'll see. We'll see if they made those investments. So going back to where's my money? Okay. So where is my money? If you're not getting monetized on this platform or on any platform, go ahead and monetize yourself. Go out there and go get it. Um, a lot of these platforms that you guys are paying for, like for premium status, right? Instagram included, right? So if you guys remember when Twitter X had said we're going to charge $8 a month, everybody was everybody's in uproar. Everybody's going crazy. How can they charge that? I think a month later, Instagram offers the same thing for $15 a month, and nobody nobody complains about it. So all of the all of the subscription statuses that we have on different platforms, there's ways and perks where you can use those tools they give you to monetize yourself before they officially monetize you. Subscription statuses are great. My only concern is how big is your foot, and we're gonna close up with the foot. How big is your footprint? Right? How big is your footprint? And if you've got a footprint and you've got 5 toes, do you actually have the other 4 toes in operation? Or are you putting all of your money and everything on one platform? I would encourage you to not do that, just in case. So, and I'm not saying that. Here's what I'll say: when Elon bought the company, when Elon bought Twitter, they were at the lowest, I believe, in the history of the company. They were at the lowest, right? So Talisman says, "I'm not paying for any platform except for X." It's fair. I will say this before I talk about the thumbs and Elon buying X, just to encourage anybody that if you are sold out on one singular platform and you have a desire to grow exponentially outside of that, just consider that there are people that would love to come to the platform where you're at, and they may not know about it. They may not know how great it is. So sometimes investing time in those platforms is worth the time, and sometimes the money. That's what I'll add. Um, because I think it's unfair to expect all of my family on Facebook to get the passion that I have for X, Twitter, if I don't spend time where they're at. So yeah, Paula says she's on different platforms. She's just not going to pay. Yeah, I totally agree. So getting back to Elon, when he bought the company, Twitter was at the worst financial status it was in the history of the company. So, and Tala remembers this. I talked about it. My wife, I think in 2015, 2016, spending all the time on a platform. That's when we bought stock in Twitter. I think it was like $14.
Yeah, it was like
14,
no. When we first bought it, was like 11.
like $11. So it was like $11 a share, right? And it went up pretty high, right? Before Elon bought it, and then it went super crazy low. But here's the crazy thing is that I think Twitter hadn't turned a profit in 2 years. It was 2 years in the hole financially. And so one of the things I always say was like, how in the world can they have 8,000 employees and still keep them and not have a profit? I always wondered that. So, um, so going back to the footprint, I would encourage anybody that's like, where is my money? Just monetize yourself in the meantime. And when the subscriptions come, it's just my personal opinion. Don't post receipts publicly unless you plan to help other people get it. Because if not, then you're just creating FOMO, right? It's the same as me getting a job. Let's say I get a job at let's say I work at Facebook tomorrow, get my first paycheck, take a screenshot of my paycheck, and I post it all over social media. And I tell everybody, hey guys, it works. Just gotta put in the work, put in the time, check it out. I just made $11,000 my first week Facebook, right? So it's just weird. So I would say if anybody that wants to, when you get your first payout, um, do it in private. That's just my opinion. Do it in private. Or if you do it publicly, offer a way means to encourage people, right? So That's just my opinion. I think we're good. I think we're going to land the plane. You have been listening or watching. This is actually going to go on my podcast. I think this is good enough. I got to go back and edit the audio, and I'm going to make a decision if I'm going to do audio or video. I think I may do audio. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to read these last comments before I close out. Paula says that I see people monetize who don't provide quality content. Makes no sense to me. There's a lot of that, but it's not just on. It's not, yeah. Show them a path. Agreed. Focusing your payout is gross. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you, brother. When I have an actual guest, when I do a podcast, and by the way, I'll leave since you guys are engaging. Check this out. We have a we're gonna be doing an in-person organic podcast at a. So one of the things I'm gonna do here while we're here is that we're gonna support local businesses, and so I don't have all the details to share yet because it's not signed on paper. One of the things I'm learning is to make it official. If you run a business, make sure you have it official on paper, written. All of your non-disclosures, your non-compete, whatever you need, your liability waivers, all those things, have it all signed. I haven't done it yet, but I will say this: we're supporting local businesses where we are now, and so one of the deals I have that we're just talking right now. But I shared a photo, and so we're going to do an organic in-person podcast, and it's going to be with the Gas Man. Okay, so I'll give you that much. It's going to be my first organic podcast at this place. It's going to be with the Gas Man, and I'll leave it at that. He's the Gas Man, friend of mine. Met him back in 2021, and he's become a. I don't know. He's become a good guy to me. Like he's become a good friend. So we're going to do a podcast, organic, in person, support this business. We're going to set up all of our equipment, all of our gear, lighting, cameras, sound equipment. I don't think we're going to do makeup because my wife is like, nah. I don't think in the background. Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be fun. It'll be nice. And it's going to be real. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate you. All right. We are done. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. If you're not following myself or Glow Sessions is our business account. I think they're live right now. I'm actually live on my other account too. I don't think anybody's watching because it just got officially started like a month, 2 months ago. So, alrighty. As a reminder, today's podcast has been brought to you by Archon Mounts. If you want legitimate, sturdy, robust, reliable tripod equipment for your cell phones, your camera gear, if you're an airline pilot, if you're an Uber driver, and you want legit mounting solutions for all of your devices, go to archon.com. 20% off your entire order. If you use my promo code Hawaii, you'll get 20% off your entire order. And they do ship internationally for those of you that are not in the United States. If you're in the United States, you get it FedEx within 5 days. Yeah. So that's that. Also, our merch is up in our store. Thank you for everybody that hung out. Go to my storefront. I would love the support. Pretty much it. On behalf of myself, my wife, who is sitting right next to us, we appreciate you guys. We genuinely appreciate you just hanging out. I would appreciate a rating on Spotify. If you haven't subbed to my Spotify or Apple Podcasts, sub to that and give a rating or whatever, a review. We would love that. We appreciate that. All of that helps. And if you want to support this channel, support it, but do it from a not out of obligation, but you want legit products or services. We appreciate you. All right, we're done. Thank you for your time, your hearts, all of your Android devices. You've been tapping the screen like a madman. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. We love you. But most importantly, thank you for your time. To all of my other social outlets, we appreciate you. As I always say, love you guys. God bless you guys. Ahui ho, aloha, and mahalo. Yes, sir. Chew.